That's just how we gonna give it up. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. This is definitely not the way I foresaw this. I gotta mute this. We got our live going. Computer's acting up. I got a new computer and it's not working. It's really annoying me to be honest. Not working. We got a lot to talk about. So it's Memorial Day. It's 9/11. That was a big, very important day. More people was killed on American soil than any time since the end of World War II. Was it completely the end? I gotta connect my headphones. This is doing too much. We need headphones on. I gotta give me a I don't need I need Bluetooth. Let's connect these headphones right quick. I hope these are the right ones. And what's going on with Dion? Uh, okay, that's weird. Oh, it didn't give him the link somehow. Let's pick the link again. We're gonna make this work, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna talk about what's going on. We're gonna talk about this. We're gonna deal with the. Oh, he saw it now, and I did. And I chose the wrong.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Hello, hello. One, two, one, two.
This. Yeah, I hear you. I'm just getting the echo because I can do it that way and won't need the headphones. I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Well, that's half the battle. It's definitely not my best day for this. I don't know what's going on with this computer. Brand new computer. We did great this morning, but it's not working now. Well, it's not brand new. It's over $1,000 worth of computer, but it's a relatively new computer. And it was working perfectly until I put something on here and it's deciding not to work. Give me 1 second. No, this guy. Oh man. And then might be what it is. I might
Test,
have to go
test, one,
back.
two.
What happened? It's definitely a program. It worked in safe mode. I've been working on it for 4 hours. It worked in safe mode. The fact that it worked in safe mode tells me that it's definitely an issue with it's definitely software. Because the safe mode doesn't stop other programs from loading
You're gonna
up.
have to pin me. Because I'm watching here.
Am I really
You have to pin me.
on my phone? This is awful. Nah, we shouldn't have to pin for lives.
Well, I'm just telling you what I'm seeing real time on the live. See? You're talking, I'm talking, and it's going back and forth. See?
We didn't have to do that before, so it changed.
Now, if you make me the host, then I can pin. I'm
That
looking to
sounds
see for
like
you.
I can't even. I might have to make you the host. I don't know how to do that.
Power. Okay, now that I am the host, let me pin you to the screen. All right, that takes care of that. Let me pin myself to the screen. Let's see if the side-by-side view works out. Yes, we are officially side by side.
Lock arms.
All right, bring us in, Skip. All right, now let me make sure I share this accordingly as I'm talking about the certain issues for tonight. Okay.
You ready?
Right.
I mean, we got people starting to come in, so we might want to talk. 9/11 was a horrific thing. For those of y'all who don't know what happened, because we have a whole generation that grew up afterwards in their 20s, mid 20s even, and even in their 30s, they wouldn't remember it really if you think about it.
You're gonna
They
have to
would have
lift your
been
phone
like,
up. The audio is not good. You have to lift your phone up. It can't be placed on a table. It has to be low, because your audio is not coming
is
in.
this better?
Yes.
This sucks. Not really, this sucks.
Now you see how I
Um,
be MacGyver when I have to be on sometimes. MacGyver.
well, what I could have done was I do have a tripod for my iPad. I could have done that. It just occurred to me this moment. I should have done that. I'm so used to having these super Mac computers that is failing me. Anyhow, so for those of y'all who don't know, in 2001, almost a quarter of a century ago. Oh, wait. Welcome to the think tank. We use creative thinking, deductive reasoning, critical common sense to draw unbiased logical conclusions. Today, we're going to talk about a couple of things. We're going to start with 9/11, being that it is Memorial Day and people in their 30s and below have only read about it in books. So, for those of y'all who are not aware, 9/11 was something that was a horrific day in American history. It was what led us into a war with Iraq. There are many conspiracy theories based around 9/11. What happened was, allegedly, according to the official records, there were terrorists who boarded airplanes that were heading to the New York area. On them airplanes, they were able to smuggle weapons. Probably not the high-powered rifles that you would imagine somebody having to use in order to be able to take over airplanes. No, they were able to do it with box cutters. That's right. They took over the entire airplanes with box cutters. And as silly as it sounds, some of the most horrific things in the history of this country happened. We had something called the Twin Towers, was the World Trade Center. It was the global epicenter of the world when it came to finances, the World Trade Center. You have a new World Trade Center now, but this one, the original World Trade Center, was two buildings, and it was two of the tallest buildings in the world. It might have been the tallest. Wait, there was, yes, I believe they were the tallest buildings in the world. Massive structures. And with these box cutters, allegedly, they were able to convince pilots to fly into buildings. That's really the story. I didn't make that up. That's really the story. So you can understand why there are multiple conspiracy theories, whereas people are like, nah, son, like y'all knock down buildings with airplanes and you convince somebody to fly
Go ahead.
into a building with a box cutter. So many people are like, I don't believe you. And there were many parts of the story that were, as Spock would say, illogical. For instance, after the buildings fell, they were able to find, I mean, these are horrific fires, buildings fell, but they was able to rummage through the rubble and find the ID of somebody that was on an airplane. I gotta laugh. It was like, yo, hold up. After a house fire, if you don't have your I-9 stuff in a safe, you're probably not going to have your birth certificate. But they was able to find somebody's passport when the tallest building in the world fell. These are the stories that they gave us. So whether you believe what happened or not, horrifically, people on that plane died. People in the buildings that didn't get out, and the vast majority of them didn't, all perished. 3 buildings fell that day. 2 got hit by airplanes, and the third one, well, it just collapsed for no reason. Sparking farther and more conspiracy theories. But regardless of what you believe or don't believe, many people died. And in response, George W. Bush said, I'm going to get you, Saddam Hussein. Or Bin Laden, or whoever it was. I think it was Bin Laden who was responsible for this. And they went off to war with Iraq. Bin Laden wasn't captured until 12 years later by Barack Obama, but they did overturn Saddam Hussein. So we'll leave with that story. Dion, what do you have to say about it?
Where was I at the time of September 11th? I was at the City College of New York, and I was wondering how was I going to get to school? And I'm trying to see how, the subways are going down, they're closing subways, this and that third. I'm thinking that this is going to be just no delay. And then eventually the second one hits, and you're like, okay, this is a little bit different. Because that's New Yorker, the whole world could be exploding around you, but you're focused on your purpose. So, like, I had to work, school, do this and the third. I don't care who got shot over there, just let me go about my business. And that's actually how I felt about it today. I'm District Leader Dion Powell of the 78th Assembly District here in the Bronx, New York. And I'm actually wearing this stylish t-shirt, if I could just model it a little bit here. It was given to me by Miss Janice Gregory, who is from Convention of States, New York, a nice civic organization I associate myself with. And she was a 911 responder. She was, working 911, that kind of civil service job. And she did her part to help, bridge the gap in communications, which quickly went down between all of our emergency responders. So everybody knows someone that knows someone that was in the area, was supposed to go to work, or something happened, or act of God. And so yeah, so today's their
Huh.
day, and they go down there, and I've been down there one time for I was there for a memorial my first time last year because sometimes as New Yorkers we don't do New York touristy things like this, or we've lost traditional values or American patriotic things like this. But I went there last year with my other Dion Cini, who has the world's largest Trump flag, and we were there. I saw the bar where everybody wrote their name on the bar, on the bricks and stuff like that, and pictures of people that were lost. It was very the camaraderie is through the roof in this realm when it comes to nationalism and patriotism and camaraderie. So it's a good feeling being amongst everybody of colors, race, and creeds where, these things happen. For example, when 9/11 happened, actually, I'm not sure about yourself, but some friends of mine said because it's their culture and they're white, they're like, listen, I'm going to the military, fuck that, douche. And they signed up, you know what I mean? Navy, this, that, the third. They're veterans now like yourself. So I don't know if you want to speak about that area.
No, I'm pre 9/11. Post 9/11 people were treated way better than we were as far as being veterans. Like, we all signed up to the same thing, but one of the things that was done in order to be able to try and help increase the size of the military so that they can actually go to war with Iraq was they increased the benefits of something called the GI Bill. The GI Bill is basically the bill that gives the benefits, and they propagated it tremendously to be able to get to try and get people to join, and it worked. And the people that joined and got the post 911 benefits of the GI Bill, they did a lot better than us other veterans. But I'm not complaining about it. I think that if you go fight for this country, you should be taken care of. Last time I was at the World Trade Center, true story, true story. I met some girl on Hinge, and I was on a date. She worked, and she actually worked in. She actually works in one of the towers. I'm talking about not the old one, the new one. Ironically, when when the towers got hit, I was dating a girl. Oh, I'll never forget her. She was so good. That worked in the tower, and she was trying to get out of there. Scary.
Right,
I was in Queens at my job. I was able to see the towers burning from my roof in Queens on
right.
Southside
For
Jamaica
real.
in Long Island. Like, see it from like miles and miles away. It was, the tallest buildings in the world were struck with planes and came crumbling down. There's never been anything like it.
Right. And that was surreal. The antidotes that we had in my neighborhood in the Bronx was that when that happened, the imagery of, let's say, South Asians were going around, Middle Easterners celebrating second and third. So in the hood, it's like overnight. Every Habibi Arab owner of a chicken spot, whatever spot store, were completely nice. Hey, good morning, sir. How are you? How would you like your bacon, egg, and cheese prepared this morning? Is everything okay? And we're like, what's wrong with these guys? But come to
What's
find
wrong with
out,
them was downstairs in the basement that had the AKs and it was ready. That's what was wrong.
your audio is not very good. I don't know.
What was wrong was that they in the basement downstairs, they had the AKs and they was ready.
Well, not just that. It's just once again, this is where the racism came into play. Because overnight,
This is
these
coming from
people
them. This is stuff they told me.
these guys from the Middle East, these brothers from
I'm making it up.
Yemen in the Bronx, Lebanon, Jordan. all these guys that own these chicken spots, bodegas, etc., they were immediately targeted as suspicious. And if you see anybody suspicious, report them. And so then that's when the
They
whole
was not targeted nowhere near like was talk with like the way ICE is targeting Spanish people now though.
well, the point is this is more of a cultural thing. This wasn't just law enforcement. This is just basic humanity
So
showing
then
its
what do you
ugly
call it?
hand.
What do you call it? They was being targeted. So one is better than the other.
No, well, the thing is, now people are being arrested and deported. At that time, that wasn't the case. It was just more of discrimination and violence and hate. Understand?
So discrimination, discrimination.
There was nothing formal on paper to say, hey, we need to go after
Oh,
anybody.
that's the
It
difference.
was
Now
more,
the Supreme
whoa,
Court
it was
said
more, hey, it was more like paranoia. If you see something, say something. Remember all the different colors
so.
of level?
So now it's okay to be discriminate because the law says so. Got it.
Well, again, let's talk about something more prior and pressing in which 911 emergency first responders, they're not getting certain benefits. And of course, the government is screwing them long term for the sacrifices they committed then. And those things are being overlooked here, the city of Yard. Because think about it, just air pollution alone. I have one person in my circle who's advocating for the CUNY security officers that were activated that aren't being acknowledged or giving receiving benefits. So
Wow.
20
It's
plus
funny you
years
mentioned
later.
911 twice. Point of fact, my mother was actually the first black 911 supervisor in New York City history.
Oh, okay.
If she was around today, she probably wouldn't have a job because 300,000 black women have lost their jobs since Trump's been in office with DEI and all that.
Meanwhile, Trump is enjoying himself at the Yankee game. How about that? In the Bronx.
Yeah,
We've been here
that's
so
it.
many
Fire
times.
black women and go to a love it.
Well, again, that's what's going on with that. But we could turn the page, hopefully, and talk about my man Charlie Kirk, sleep in peace, and the tragedy. Let's see if you put something positive to say about this, Leo. Tell us.
Nothing positive to say about somebody getting assassinated giving a speech. Sorry. I have nothing
Good.
positive to say about
So
that.
we condemn it. And Charlie Kirk lived a good life, and he represented something bigger than himself, a whole movement that I can speak to. But what do you know about Charlie Kirk, sir?
I don't know much about him, but have you ever heard of what is it called? Um, a Reichler? A Reichler? Somebody help me pronounce it. Reichsler? It's a Reichsler.
What?
A Reichsler?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, man. It was the purge in Germany, which targeted the SA and its leader, Ernest Röhm. Oh, these are German names. And my fiance, the only woman I almost ever married, was German. Leader Ernest Röhm. Also eliminated, Hitler also eliminated other political enemies, including former Chancellor Kurt von Schleicher, Gregor Stasser, and Edgar Jun. So he did this to consolidate power. And he eliminated members of his own party and blamed the other party in order to be able to be able to basically make his country, Germany, a police state and turn everybody against his political enemies.
Oh my God, this is so inappropriate, but I allow it because it's your show. So, what are you trying to say, sir? How was Charlie Kirk's situation and what you're describing? Can you print it together for me so I can respond accordingly?
No,
What? What do you mean, no? Do you know how much backlash people are getting for taking this man's tragedy and assassination and just running with it? These liberal progressives are just showing their evil side and just spewing venom.
not a single liberal progressive has said that they were happy he was dead. None. No one, not one, not a single liberal progressive. Every one of them has said the same thing that it's a tragedy and this should not be happening. You know who did take it and run with it? The right wing. They took it and said, oh, well, we should go after the liberals. This is war. This is what the right wing has done. The left has not done that. That's not true.
Well,
It
the
almost
right
sounds like
wing.
what Germany did.
Okay, your audio is going in and out, man. I don't know what you got to do. But basically, the argument is that the left actually takes the dangerous actions, whereas the right, they just talk. So, for example, Donald Trump talks a lot that hurts feelings, but his actions don't really hurt people like that, as opposed to somebody who's a leftist who talks a lot of stuff, but they are willing to do drastic things like this. That's what the pattern is being
Whoa,
shown.
whoa, 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 whoa. See, and that's what the right does. You don't even know his political ideology. How are you saying this is the left? You don't know. He might not have been. He might have been a conservative. You don't know that.
I'm talking
You're
about the
assuming.
choice
You don't
of
know.
what, yes, okay, listen, the information that's becoming out instantaneously of what was going on, because you know people from all realms are watching this. It's showing one thing, the person that purportedly assassinated from the left, and number two, the social
I've
media
not seen
feed.
that. What I've seen, they do not know his ideology. They got pictures of him now. They got video. They do not know his ideology. The only people that said it was the who else? But the official documentation, they do not know what his ideology is.
Okay, well then let's scratch that person. Let's talk about the tapestry on social media and all the liberal progressive leaders that's just spewing
And
nothing.
what are they saying?
Well, he deserves this. Things along those lines.
Oh, I have not heard that from
All the evil
anybody.
that he's done in life by talking
I
about
have not. I've
something.
not heard that. Matter of fact, I've heard exactly the opposite from everybody I've heard. I've not heard anybody say that. Can you name one person who said he deserved it? Because I've not heard anybody. Not, the left
Was it
doesn't do
was
that.
it
The right are the gun toters. The left is all saying maybe we should do something about guns.
Well, let's talk about certain black pundits. I think it was Amanda Seals who actually made a statement. Actually, Dr. Umar came to his defense and say, hey guys, we shouldn't be talking like this. Isn't it interesting how Dr. Umar himself said, no, guys, we should stop talking about this. Whereas they listed him as a racist, he hated other cultures, basically tarnishing this man already, and the body's not even, that's what I'm talking about. But I'm here to tell you the good things that he's done because I've been asked to speak at certain events doing this kind of thing. So
Congratulations.
When it
That's
comes to
awesome.
Charlie Kirk, me, I made a statement. I put it out there, and somebody asked me in an interview, so I made another statement in which he was always something in my backdrop in this journey since 2021 with the lockdowns and fighting these people being activated with Brexit. Charlie Kirk was another influencer. You would hear on social media, oh, he's a racist. Look at what he's saying. He's another Candace Owens. So being part of Brexit with Candace Owens, you already know how it's not what you say, it's how you say it kind of mentality of you need to do better for yourself. So when his organization, Turning Point USA, merged with Black Exit, which is Candace Owens, that's when I got to see what he was about and what Turning Point was about. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. And they provide a lot of funding and resources into Blexit to keep it active. And that's why Blexit, I believe, is very successful right now. When I started, it was doing great things, but now it's actually expanded. For example, thanks to Turning Point USA, Blexit has chapters on like 16 HBCU campuses and growing. Now that's amazing for a Black conservative organization to have presence on 16 historically Black colleges and universities and provide support, resources, and funding to their local clubs. Woof! Candace Owens has presence again on 16 HBCU campuses growing. That's something that you're not going to hear unless Dion, who's involved with these things, will tell you and be his chest all day that is a good thing. So that's one thing I can say good that Charlie Kirk has done in terms of creating a paradigm that perpetuates this young conservative movement. Another thing I said in my statement as well with Blexit, I had a Black conservative from Queens getting bullied at York College because she was a Black conservative young Republican. You see what I'm saying? And when she came always in the Bronx to our nice little meeting at this pizza shop in South Bronx on 139th Street and Morris.
Oh my God, you went
And
outside in the South Bronx on
yes, and
139th
she
and
came
nobody
to
got
our
shot?
meeting.
Oh my God, what's the
Black City
crime?
has
What's the
business.
crime?
Right. Because Queens is a different world. If you know, that's why, see, Leo has the collar shirt and I can't afford one. I'm such a slob. Yeah, you Queens guys, look at you. So anyway, so
Yes, we like to
basically,
dress nice in Queens.
so
The
basically, the
Bronx,
story
y'all be giving it up dirty.
what makes Charlie Kirk so dangerous that he should be, this level of the game is that he represents something that is dangerous, is that he created a paradigm like an NAACP for young people, which they have chapters, they have support, they found each other, they have resources. They could do their own events. They became cool amongst themselves. You know, with Brexit, we all found each other. All the black people that could read and write somehow knew each other instantaneously with Brexit. And we're not all just the only sellout in our community, Red Winch, Uncle Tom. We're all together now doing events and activities. We're all black together now. He did the same thing on the next level nationally for white kids that are young and ostracized and bullied for being a Republican or conservative. So that's the great work that he's leaving. And now it's going to become more so. And it's actually pushing more people into the movement's arms that are showing the evil, sinister, satanic venom being spewed on social media. It's pushing people more so into our realm. Excuse me.
I see. So you're really a fan of this gentleman.
Not a fan of
And
the
it's
person
always
per se, like Reverend Al Sharpton, like Candace Owens, like Louis Farrakhan. These people are just the mouthpieces. Me, I wouldn't even care to sometimes talk to these people. I'm actually proud of what the legacy they leave with the mission statement of the entity they created: Nation of Islam, National Action Network, Blacksit, NAACP, the membership that does the great work in the community, the grassroots, and what it could do. Like without Charlie Kirk, we might not have Lexit chapters on 15 HBCU campuses because of Turning Point USA's big economic fiscal sponsor and that kind of stuff. So that just goes amazingly well for someone like me who sees through the talking heads and the leadership. I'm not easily starstruck, but actually, if I see your work, then I'm like, okay, this is good. And what he did to bring people, young people, especially who are conservative, who are against the grain, together with his not scared to let's talk it out. Let's have debate. Let's not get physical. This is what I believe. This is what you believe. This is why I think you're wrong. This is why you think I'm wrong. Let's have at it. Let's don't put your hands on me, you know? But this Trump derangement syndrome is real. And I
even Candace
everybody's,
Owens is like, well,
everybody's going to say January 6th. Oh, well, January 6th, January 6th. Oh, really?
yeah, well, there's that. I
January
didn't bring it up.
6th.
You did. Oh,
January 6th is actually, and we all know this, was potentially an inside job. And the next thing,
inside job, but not the people that did, like attack police officers did what they did. And Trump said it's okay to attack police officers. I'll let you out. I'll give you a job in the government, in the very place where you attack police officers.
and you see, that's the part of the problem is the media, because the stuff that you're talking about, the media is not going to give you all the information you need to make a sound judgment. For example, if you want to go back to January 6th, again, if you recall like 9/11, they shut off Donald Trump's social media so you can communicate with the world. So remember, as he's speaking, what? You don't know what the rest of it he said to people, real time on the ground, and what he said to do, depart peacefully, this and the third, and they're going to make it seem
Yes, because they knew
it's
to
a
cut it
mass
right.
amount.
He was going to say something else because it was live and they were psychic, right?
Yes, they say
It's
no.
like,
They say we're not gonna play fake news.
psychic.
We're not gonna let Donald Trump spew hate. So they just cut off, deactivate all social media. Remember? But then Elon Musk said no. Let's go
Well,
into
up
the Twitter
until then,
accounts.
what was he saying? Up until they cut him off, he was saying one thing. Then magically, after he got cut off, he was saying something different. And I'm supposed to believe that because I'm stupid, I guess.
No, for example, it's not being recorded anymore. He's still speaking to people. It's just not on the internet anymore. His whole social media is cut off. All social media pertaining to January 6th, anything live videos is cut off. You know how they shadow ban people because of Trump, and that's what happened. So then now when people like me who are on a
Right.
circle,
So up until then, he was telling them to march and fight like hell. But then once they cut him off, he was saying, "Don't fight anymore. No, stop. I was wrong," because he changed what he was saying. Right. And that's the story.
well, again, the point is this. People in the Charlie Kirk realm, they know what they're talking about. They have their facts, and they put facts above feelings. Whereas the other side, in the heat of passion, they put feelings way beyond facts because the fact still remains. Donald Trump's social media was cut off. He was talking to the crowd. All but footage of the crowd being talked to real time was cut off. So the general public at the time didn't know what happened and what he said to the crowd when it wasn't being aired. Now, fast
No, we
forward,
can only
that
go what
information
we
is
heard.
coming.
What we heard was him tell him to go there and fight like hell. That's what we heard. So we don't know what happened afterwards, but we do have what he said prior, and you can shake your head. No, it doesn't change the facts. I thought you like facts. You're getting in your feelings. You're like, no, that's not what happened. What happened was the facts are
Yes, tell me.
We saw him tell them to go there and fight.
No.
And then we saw
Yes,
him,
yes.
and then
That
we
was
saw
nice
him
and edited so
exonerate
that
them for doing it.
right. Well, no, that was nice and edited at the time, live, real time, to show
Right,
you
edited
them.
live.
And
That's what the
then it was
story is.
played on loop. It was played on loop for months, and then they
Which
took
is
it
it? Was
before.
it edited live or was it put on loop?
Oh yeah, it was cut off live, and that footage that they cut off, the one they used, they put that nice together and they played that on loop. Whereas more information came out over time of what really happened, what he said after his social media was deactivated, and what was going on with the FBI
Oh, you
having.
mean that recording where he was standing in front of the camera and was nobody around whatsoever but him and one camera guy? I mean that? Yeah, because everybody heard
I
that.
haven't seen that footage. I haven't seen that footage.
You
Long
sent
story
it to me.
Well, long story short, the information cannot be trusted that comes out the legacy media. And Charlie Kirk was one of those people that would go quick to call that out early and prove that fake news was real. And that's why he was such a threat because he had
Prove
people,
that fake news is real.
fake news, meaning that CNN,
Jumbo
MSNBC,
shrimp?
CBS, all those people, they spew nothing but lies. And they're totally compromised and Trump the range. Charlie Kirk is very big on exposing that.
Um, okay. So he was a big Trump supporter.
Huge Trump supporter. But then again, there are certain areas of Charlie Kirk internally that people like us would disagree, but still keep it civil and keep moving. For example, Tucker Carlson and Charlie Kirk, when it came to Israel, that's a hot button issue that Tucker Carlson gets a lot of flack for because he's totally American first and not with our consistent support of Israel. Whereas Charlie Kirk was like, nah, Israel, this and the third, the usual towing the line for Israel. But that's another thing that played out into public display. So a lot of people were disappointed in Charlie Kirk. A lot of people were disappointed in Charlie Carlson. But still, the MAGA movement still hasn't been cracked as much as the blue team would they it to be. So
Okay. I don't think they have to do anything to crack it. I think that the movement is doing what it's going to do. I mean, when Candace Owens is like, well, the MAGA movement is going to move forward. The America First movement is going to move forward. We're just going to have a new leader. I support that 100%. Because America First is a good concept, but in actuality, what it is a white supremacist regime. They're going after Native Americans. I mean, they're going after black people. 300,000 black women losing their jobs is not something to whatever. That's not cool. Like black women represent 20% of the workforce. So if 300,000 black women lost their jobs, that's a big deal. You said DEI, and it was white women. Black women are the ones losing their jobs, not white women. So, they're going after Spanish people. And literally, the Supreme Court literally was just like, yo, you can go after people based on how they look. You can racially profile. It is now legal to racially profile. I remember before when it was legal to racially profile, I think they called it stop and frisk. So if they're doing it to Spanish people now, we are definitely coming up next because we've been there before. It wasn't that long ago. We're not talking about the civil rights. We're talking about the 90s. They stopped and frisked black people like there wasn't more drugs in white areas. Like, what the? Like, it's crazy. So, no, this man did not deserve to get killed. No one deserves that. However, I think that we need to take a step back and look and say what really happened. Maybe if some of the left got their way, there wouldn't be as many guns in the street. And if there wasn't as many guns in the street, you'd be here to still argue about the fact that there should be more guns.
you mean guns
Ironic.
in the street of Utah?
I don't care where it's at. Gun violence is a problem. When you see a mass murder like that, generally speaking, it's coming from a white guy. Generally speaking. So if that's the case, then maybe guns in white areas is not such a great thing. We talk about all of the violence in black areas, but guns in the hands of white people is where you get your mass murderers. So no, maybe it's guns.
Maybe it's guns. Okay. So it had nothing to do with his ideology because now they made the man a martyr. So it has nothing to do with about what he was about.
We don't know because we don't know what his ideology was.
You mean
Google it right
I'm talking
now.
about Charlie
Show
Kirk.
me something right now. Show me his ideology. Show me something right now. You're in control. You can share. Let's see what happens. You will find nothing.
Well, we're not there yet. It's still early. But
So then why are you talking about something that doesn't exist? You're just like Trump and the rest of them.
no, no,
You're
no,
saying,
no, no,
oh,
no,
it had to
no.
be them Democrats. It had to be them
No,
Democrats.
no, no. I'm talking about the reason why Charlie Kirk was assassinated. What
We don't
Charlie
know why
Kirk
he was
was about.
assassinated.
No, no,
We
no,
don't
no.
know why.
The reason, no, no. We
It
know.
could have been
Okay,
his gay level. We don't know why.
listen.
It
The
might have been
point
his
is
gay level.
this:
We don't know why.
Charlie Kirk, like Donald Trump, represents something very dangerous.
It
And
might have been his gay
people,
level. We don't know why. You're assuming. It could have been his
yeah,
gay level.
well, now we're assuming. So you don't think that Charlie Kirk presents such a threat of being called a Nazi and a Trump supporter that somebody willing to clip him because he's actually promoting those things and he has a big audience and people could blame him for Trump's winning. Because people blame Charlie Kirk as one of the people that helped Donald Trump win.
Maybe I never heard of him before, so I can't say one way or the other.
Well, I'm trying to educate you on Charlie Kirk.
Well, now
And
that you educated me, my,
you
my,
know,
my, my response to that is it might have been a left wing lunatic or it might have been his gay level.
oh God. Long
And
story
we don't know
short,
who it was. So you want to assume, I want to assume. We don't know who it is. So don't blame
long story short, you have January 6th, and that's it. But all these assassinations and assassination attempts and threats are more so on this side. All you
That's
have is
bullshit.
January
Hold up, time
6th.
out, time out, time out. So then why were the judges coming out worried about their lives being threatened? They getting phone calls because the Supreme Court justices, these conservative Supreme Court justices, is setting them up for that. Isn't that wasn't that the story 2 days ago? Guys that will never talk to the news is coming out. Yo,
I
we're
can't
scared
hear
for our lives.
you. You sound crazy. I can't understand anything you're saying. It's like, ah.
Okay, so 2 days ago, the federal judges who never speak to the cameras started coming out like, yo, the Supreme Court justices is setting us up to get our families are being threatened. We're scared for our lives. These guys will never talk to the camera. But they're scared for their lives because of the conservatives that are threatening their lives. This was a story 2 days ago. It's a big story. We spoke about it this morning when we was recording one of our episodes. Maybe you wasn't paying attention.
Maybe I wasn't. But again, when it comes to actual violence, January 6th, and then you have these other acts of violence over here. Trump, you have Charlie Kirk, and you have some other people where actually shots were fired. You understand? So January 6th over here for the right. On the left, you have these other scenarios that are much more dangerous and
Oh, it's
violent.
not just January 6th. How about, I don't know, ICE rolling up on a car and smashing the windshield and dragging American citizens out of their car at gunpoint with masks on like they're burglars. American citizens because they look Spanish. I don't know if you want to just say January 6th and try and make it seem nice when things like that are consistently happening.
The American people voted for that. They didn't vote for January 6th. And then on top of that, like I told you, January 6th is looking more and more like an inside job.
What they voted for was to get the criminals off the street, not for American citizens to get drug out of their car at gunpoint by masked men. Like yo, if a masked dude rolled up on you and threw a gun in your face and drug you out the car, what would you think? Would you think the first thing you think police? That's not what people voted for. No.
Long story short, Charlie Kirk is a tragedy that's going to go far above beyond him, just like 9/11 is going to go far above beyond. But we'll see. I'm saying this, that it's a tragedy, and I'm giving you my point of view of how Charlie Kirk put some light in the world and is encouraging and inspiring others. We'll see what this new exclusive breaking news episode of the Think Tank goes with the algorithm. But yes, sleep in peace, Charlie Kirk. Turning Point USA, Lexit, and the rest of the family.
It is a tragedy. I wish that we wasn't having this conversation. I really am sorry to hear that something like that craziness happened. It should not. It honestly makes me scared. Right now, I'm speaking my open mind, and here's the thing: I think it retaliate against me because now, the white right wing is declaring war. Trump already declared war on Chicago, and this is coming out of everybody's mouth. This isn't just Trump. You're not paying attention. You're laughing. You're not paying attention to what's going on.
Oh my
You're
God.
laughing at that. You're not paying attention to what's going on.
This is amazing. Amazing. This is what we call Trump derangement for a reason.
You really don't know what I'm talking about, really? Google MAGA blames or MAGA declares war on Democrats. Just Google it and share the screen, please. Let everybody know just how deranged this is. Because deranged might be the magic word for the entire situation. I can go for that. Because
Okay.
it is deranged. Agreed.
Well, let me see who is in the live chat today. Okay, we have almost 2,000 people watching, which is pretty cool.
Thanks everybody for coming and all
84
support today.
likes. So far, nobody's in the live chat. And sending prayers to all the families affected today, as always. Thank you, Miss Charlotte.
Yes, thank you, Miss Charlotte. I'm sorry, I'm not on my computer. I got a new computer and I was all psyched because it's gonna be editing faster.
Thank you,
And
John Charles. Yes, 21 years later, the memorial is still in our hearts. Shout out to all our people supporting us. 1K spontaneously on September 11th, and actually after the Charlie Kirk tragedy. To the Turning Point USA family who I talk to, and Black said, prayers and thoughts and the usual cliches, but yes, heartfelt. Because by default, my people that I see sad that's over here make me sad. Understand? And that's how it works.
that was it. I was being quiet. You took over. You were doing great. I was shutting up. Doing great. No reason for me to interfere with that. Good job. I appreciate it. By the way, if you are enjoying the content, please like, share, subscribe. You can catch us every Sunday having these conversations 9 p.m. Come part of the critical thinking community. If you want to drop some bombs in there and tell us how you feel and share your intellectual space with us so that we can have these conversations, that's great. I'm normally more into the chats, but my brand new computer is not working. It came on now, but I'm afraid as soon as I try something, it's going to crash again. I'll figure it out. I believe it's a software issue, but I have the Honorable Dion Powell having my back. Like, I got you. I got this stuff for you. Thank you, Dion. It was
Thank
Dion's
you.
idea to come on, and he wanted to express sympathy for someone that he had a great deal of respect for, Charlie Kirk, and he wanted to do a special episode also because it's the anniversary of the tragedy that occurred
We
on
have to talk
September
about what's
11th.
trending, and that's very important, especially if you're going to bash up on Trump. Charlie Kirk was a big part of the Donald Trump movement with young people and on college campuses, and anti-bullying operations, pro-life, school choice, faith-based support for churches and Christianity, which is being attacked all the time for public displays of prayer, and on and on and on. So.
Yes, because I should be forced to have to go to school and learn the Christian prayer when I'm not Christian. But, you know,
You could always homeschool like people are doing now because they didn't want to take the Dr. Fauci ouchie.
well, my tax dollars go into that building and I should not have to be forced to deal with somebody else's religious nut jobness because with my tax dollars, I should have more to say about my tax dollars than that. But it doesn't mean that somebody should try and assassinate somebody for it. That's crazy.
Exactly.
No, we agreed on that. That is not how this should have gone. It's not. I mean, the man. I don't know if he had a family, but it appeared that he Had a family.
He had a family, yes. And there are certain football players who are stepping up and flipping the tab for all the expenses for funerals and stuff like that. So look at that nice stuff that's happening. And they're black too. Black football players are putting up their millions of dollars to support this white boy and his family. Isn't that interesting? I forgot to mention that part, but thanks for bringing it up, Leo.
Well, I mean, something like that has nothing to do with race. It's not race until somebody makes it racist. And, taking away the protections that black people have, like DEI and affirmative action, makes
Oh
it
God, here
racist.
we go.
Listen. 1 in 10 black people don't have a job right now in America. Those are the numbers that they count. 1 in 10. Let's do some math right quick. If you got 10 fingers, this little piggy went to market. Oh no, this little piggy went to market and found out he lost his job. Like 1 in 10. That means like 5 people is looking for a job right now that had a job last year before Trump got in. You know 5 people. I'm not wrong. It's the numbers. Math doesn't lie. People do.
Okay.
So, and black people are affected disproportionately in times of crisis in this country. And Trump's tariffs and monetary fiscal policies are definitely the crisis that would affect black people. That's just what it is. So,
Unfortunately, Leo, the general audience right now is paying so much attention to Charlie Kirk and all the people that's hating on him right there. The usual Charles Trump script is not going to work on a little bit less people now because those people that are seeing all this hate right now on Charlie Kirk, when they hear those same things you're talking about, it's not going to mean as much anymore. So the boy that acquired Wolf is getting less and less. So nobody's going to be
I
as
don't.
need to be.
Well, I mean, I'm not trying to cry wolf. I'm just like, yo, do you know people that's looking for a job? That's crying wolf. Do you know if you know people that's looking for a job that had a job last year? It's because of Trump. Period. It's his fiscal policies. Because under Biden, unemployment was low. It was like 4%. It was great. People had jobs. Now people are losing jobs in droves and can't find a job. So, I mean, if you think that doesn't matter to people, that's fine. You can think that because you're working. Everybody's not. That's it. Like, are we concerned about what happened with Kirk? I don't know Kirk. You know what I know? I know my homegirl has been looking for a job for the last 3 months. That's what I know.
Okay,
I
well,
don't. I never heard of Kirk. I
Captain
don't want
Kirk.
to see nobody die, but I
God,
never heard of him, so it didn't affect me.
good
I lost
God.
people in my life. I lost my parents. Didn't give a shit about Kirk. I care
Okay.
about my homegirl who can't find a job. She got kids to feed.
Okay.
I
Yikes.
don't want to hear him die. I'm sorry to hear it. I really am. But what affects me more? Some white boy I didn't know dying, black dude dying that I don't know, yellow person dying I don't know, green motherfucker dying that I don't know, or my friend who can't put food on the table for her kids. I think that through this tragedy, and it is a tragedy, and I hope they catch the person responsible, and I really hope it's not somebody that's a liberal crazy person.
Why? Because they fit the description?
I will concede that the likelihood of it being a Democrat is higher than anything else. I'll give that concession. But we don't know that for a fact. But I will give that concession. I hope it's not. But I will give the concession that the likelihood is there. Or it's the right swerve, which is a stronger possibility. It's more likely, assassination attempts on Trump, where we knew he wasn't going to get hit. We definitely didn't get hit with that bullet, 100%. And then something, and then something happening, just like happened in Germany. Something that I told you was going to happen back in February. I told you this exact scenario was going to happen on this show. Maybe it's a coincidence, but I did tell you it was going to happen. And I was like, all right, I got to fill this down. I can't talk about this in YouTube. But I did predict it. And maybe I'm just lucky. Who knows? Or maybe history repeats itself. And we got a totalitarian, authoritarian fascist running the country. And what's going to happen is real obvious to anybody with eyes. That, I probably shouldn't be talking about on YouTube, but here we are. You brought it up. You want to talk about it? I would put money that the truth of the matter is It was a setup in order to try and gain control and make this a police state. But I digress. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only.
Thank God. Thank God.
And regardless of it, I really believe that actually. I mean, if a right wing nut job could be like, oh wow, Sandy Woods, the school Sandy was all made up by the news. If they can spew stupidity like that, then I can say something logical. Sandy Hook. Here we go. Yeah, that was made after parents is fake, and they can say all that craziness because that is craziness. That's craziness. We know it's craziness, unless you still believe it, because some people might. The opposite side of that is Trump seems willing to do anything to gain, maintain, and keep power.
Like go to a Yankee game, right? On September 11th. That Trump, he's always up to something.
Yes, he went to a Yankee game. Kirk dies and he goes to watch baseball. What a guy.
But the vice president did help carry Charlie Kirk's casket on what's it called? What's this? The vice president's plane. It escapes you right now. They actually put they took the coffin on the plane and they took off. So that was something commendable. Also in
That
Congress,
is commendable.
they also was trying to have more signs for him. Also at the Yankee game, they had a nice memorial signs for Charlie Kirk as well. So
While destroying the Smithsonian and everything blackening. Good job.
wow.
What?
It's still there, my friend. The
I can
Smithsonian.
keep going. The racism is there. Yes.
Yes, the racism.
All I'm doing is pointing it out. You're getting mad at me for stating facts.
We're talking about Charlie Kirk. We're talking about September 11th. But boy, racism always has this way to seep into the conversation.
Okay, so I look and see what's going on in the world around me, not something that happened a quarter of a century ago, or some lone nut job trying to kill somebody I never heard of.
This is not
The
about
stuff that
you.
affects
It's
me.
about the
Oh my
audience.
God, I'm
It's
so
not about you. It's about the audience.
I'm so evil. I'm so evil. Oh my God, how could you talk about things that actually affect you? You should be talking about the stuff that nobody cares about or that doesn't have anything to do with you, not the stuff that actually affects you. What's wrong with you?
Well, Charlie Kirk, for our audience purposes, it's not me or Leo anymore, it's the audience. What's trending right now, what people are talking about right now are Charlie Kirk and September 11th. Donald Trump, of course, but those are the top two things.
Absolutely. And I believe I've covered what happened on 9/11 better than anybody I've heard all day.
Okay, well, in the meantime, I guess that's it. We always supposed to have a 10-minute trial of this. This is a test trial episode of breaking news, family. Test trial. Let's not go over an hour.
By the way, how did I do on the 9/11 thing? Did I break it down well enough? Did I leave anything out?
Well, I was just talking about the victims long term. I talked about what my personal situations were and my observations in the hood about how the climate changed for certain cultures. And again, it's a native nationalistic holiday tradition, 9/11, for certain cultures and people, and how I experienced it myself for the first time last year, unraveling the largest Trump flag at September 11th. And what that was like.
See, and now you bring Trump up. See, we're talking about 9/11. I went to 9/11, and you bring Trump up, and then get mad when I
Right,
come.
because it pertained to my situation. The reason why I was at 9/11 is because to help unravel the world's largest Trump flag. Other than that, as a New Yorker, a
So
black
you was at
man,
9/11, but the only reason you was there is because you're a Trump supporter. Got it. But if I
right.
say something
And
about
again,
Trump,
that's
I'm wrong.
why being in this realm and listening to people in this realm and actually congregating, you open your eyes to new experiences that you wouldn't be involved in if you just stayed in your liberal, progressive, black only bubble. You see what I'm saying? I would have never done that. But thanks,
I'm
I'm
not
in
in
this
no.
realm.
I'm in no such bubble.
Huh?
I'm in no such bubble.
Okay, well, when's the last time you went to September 11th Memorial down there by the towers, Ground Zero?
Did I mention 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago.
No, no, no. On September 11th itself.
Oh, well, see, my situation is different. If I go, I got to drag my child there, and I don't know if I want to do that.
It's not cultural appropriate, but other people with children drag their children there. Isn't that interesting? It's like going to Mount Rushmore. What should we call it? The Niagara Falls and some other tourist traps of America
You see,
history.
I've taken my child there, but to take her out of school to go down there, that doesn't sound like great parenting to me. But I'm just a parent.
All right, fine. I'm not a parent. All right, guys, that's think tank.
No, I mean, no, that's so no. I have not taken my kid out of school so we can go to. No, I have not done that. That doesn't make sense to me. However, I have taken her. She's seen it is something that is of great importance, especially being from New York, where it happened.
Right.
Where we. I don't know. Did you actually, before we go, did you actually see the buildings?
From where I was in the Bronx, it's all mostly televised. So I was watching on TV. Remember the phones were down. You could use your cell phone and stuff like that.
Unless you have Verizon, because Verizon still works.
Oh, wow. Okay. I had Sprint.
No, that's
Yeah.
actually no. That's actually a historical fact. At that time, the only cell phones that worked for hours was Verizon. You didn't know that?
I
That's a
don't
historical
recall. I
fact.
had Sprint and a house phone.
Oh, I didn't have Verizon either, but that was a historical fact. It was a historical fact.
You think Verizon was in on it? Anyway, let's end the show on that. Yeah.
No, I thought it was a cool, fact. You know,
Whew.
Jeopardy fact. Anyway, it is time for us to depart. Thanks everybody for coming. And as the magical D on its head deuces, I wish everyone a good night. Thank you for joining us. Peace.
Whew. Peace.